Welcome to another episode of OBH Sports. This episode is sponsored by Snubbed Coffee. Head over to snubbedcoffee.com or snubbedrecords.com. Takes you to the same place. Click on coffee. Buy some coffee. Our signature roast, Punk Roast, is single origin from Medellin, Colombia. Snubbed Coffee. Get some coffee.
You ready, champ?
I'm ready for this my whole life.
Then you take us out on feet.
Back in 82, when the Cowboys was strong, I played flag football.
Nope.
What's up?
What up, man?
Sorry for my.
What's up, dude?
It's all good.
We're just talking about Ron. We're gonna have to let you go. We don't see you as a good fit on the podcast anymore.
Yeah, me neither.
How are your guys' fantasy teams lining up so far?
Oh, let me talk about my day yesterday.
Fantasy recap. Let's do it.
Oh, dude. What a terrible fucking Sunday football.
First of all, I'm glad I benched your shithead of a quarterback before the game started. Negative
Well,
1 fantasy point.
yeah, that's not all his fault.
He had 4 interceptions.
Yeah, and
Ooh.
yes, he did. Dude, Buffalo's defense.
As did Zach Wilson. I don't even know his last name. I don't even want to know his last name. Zach
But
Wilson.
See, Zach Wilson just plain sucks.
Yeah.
Howell yesterday, like our offensive line and play calling on the offense was just, it was atrocious. Like Eric Bieniemy's acting like he's still got Patrick Mahomes back there with these fucking play calls. But all right, here's so we ran the ball a total of, let's see, 13 times in the game. We had a total of 5 rushes in the first half, and the 5th one was they handed the ball off at the last play of the half just to run the clock out. Yeah, but here's the thing about all those rushes. Brian Robinson, 10 rushes, 70 yards. Sam Howell, 1 rush, 18 yards. Fucking Antonio Gibson, even though he did have a fumble yesterday, 2 rushes, 28 yards. Why were they pass? When especially when offensive line couldn't stop shit. We've allowed 19 sacks in 3 weeks.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes.
That's crazy, dude.
Sam Howell's head was spinning. And now some of those sacks are on him, and definitely 2 of those picks were on him. But like at some point, as a young quarterback, like his head was spinning. You could tell he was in duress. He does not trust his offensive line.
That's brutal.
And I mean, like they were rushing 4. It's not like they were just like overly blitzing over and over and over again. They were rushing 4 and making our 5 offensive linemen like look like bumbling idiots.
Just to catch up the listeners, in case this is your first time listening, when Matt says he's talking Redskins. I'm a Jet fan, or Commanders. I'm sorry, whatever. I'm a Jet fan, and Travis is the only happy member of our team. He's a Miami Dolphins fan.
Yeah, fucking Dolphins dropping 70 points.
70 points, dude.
70 piece.
Can you give us like 10 of those?
It's 10 touchdowns. It was 10 touchdowns.
We still this is against Buffalo, like who's a good team. Like their defense was just making our offensive line and our offense as a whole with lackluster play calling yesterday just look insanely bad. Like the final score of that game was 37-3, but like going into the 4th quarter, it was 16-0 Buffalo. So we were still in that game. Yeah.
They got to change the name, man. They have to get all of that fucking stink off.
They're going to in the offseason.
They better. If they don't, I'll be so disappointed.
No, they are. They've they've said they are.
All right, cool. That Snyder stink is still there. Every time I see that helmet, I think of his wife, and I'm just like, they got to get rid of that shit.
I know. I still can't believe that shit.
Because that was his final fuck you to DC.
Yep.
It was like, hey, now you're stuck with this bullshit. Adios.
They went through that whole thing. They gave us 10 choices for a new name. They said we're going to let the fans pick.
And we're going to give you number 11.
Voting process that was like 2 months long. And then the final two choices came down to Red Wolves or Red Hogs. Does something seem wrong here? Because the name of the team became Commanders.
Yeah, Snyder pulled an audible.
Commanders wasn't even one of the names on that list to choose from.
But it was on his the only one on his list from day one.
Yeah,
he's
and then I know, no shit,
sucker.
And he is. And then on top of that, they said they hired this really expensive design firm to make our new uniforms. And turns out that's not what they did. Turns out he let his wife design them.
Yeah, it's horrible. You're cursed until you get that stink off of you. That's
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh God, what a football day.
That's
yeah,
what
and
it
then
is.
both my fantasy teams just completely shit the bed. On top of the Commanders.
I still have a
offense
chance to win.
completely shitting the bed. And in my other league, not the OBH league, but in my other fantasy league, I was staring at A-Chain on my bench with 51.
Yeah.
So apparently you have to run for 200 yards and get 4 touchdowns in order for someone to pronounce your name properly. Apparently it's not A-Chain.
What is it?
It's
That's
like
what everybody-
a cane
is it-
or something like that.
Are you sure? Because
No, but I know it's not A-Chain.
okay, that's all I've heard is
Because,
people
that
say
came out.
A-Chain.
Because it's cool. A-Chain is cool. It sounds cool. But
at
apparently it's
first-
not A-Chain.
Huh, okay. At first, when I saw it, I wanted to pronounce it Achane because I figured it probably wasn't A-Chain because it's never that simple, you know.
Achane.
But all I've ever heard is people pronounce it A-Chain, so I've just repeated that. So
I'm just gonna call it A-Chain too. I'm just telling you what I heard.
I haven't heard it. Yeah, I haven't heard anybody say anything differently. Oh, apparently my. Oh well, nice. My other fantasy league that I'm staring at, you know, him on the bench with 51. Devontae Adams went off in a really shitty loss. Wait a second.
Yeah, that's how I'm losing.
I thought the Raiders only scored 10 points. How the fuck can he have 2 touchdowns and I guess they scored more than 10 points?
They scored 18.
Oh, 18. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, he had 34 points. That's what fucked me.
Yeah.
I have
He
Goddard right now, the Philly fucking tight end who he's gotten like 1 point all year.
Yeah.
He's got all he has left, all my opponent has left is the kicker. Who's fake it to you till we make it.
That's Preston.
Okay, yeah. So he's got the Philly kicker right now who had a field goal. I have Goddard, the Philly tight end, and I have Chase in the next game. And they're saying that I'm only at 44% to win. I'm down 10 points. But
Well, I might actually still win my other game and go to 3-0 in that league.
nice.
Yeah, because so Matt Farmer that's in our league. It's his league, and I'm playing him in his league today.
Yeah.
And I didn't think a team could have a worse day than mine did, but nope. Patrick Mahomes and Devontae Adams are all my points.
It's gives Travis a chance to brag on his fins.
Oh,
Yeah, you ready to do? Yeah, I'm done bragging about my Commanders. That's for sure.
that's exactly what you were doing there.
Yeah.
Let me just check one thing here real quick.
I told Travis,
fantasy-
I was like, if Tua stays healthy, the Dolphins are winning the Super Bowl.
That may be. I mean, yeah. So our fantasy league, I got 2 guys left to play. So I got Mike Evans, who's playing right now,
Mhm.
and then I got what's his first name? Kyron Williams, the starting running back for LA.
Yeah.
But my team, I currently have 79.
Damn.
Yeah, and that's 79 points with Josh Allen getting 22 and Brock Purdy getting 29. So
Holy
that
shit.
should tell you how much the rest of my team shit the bed.
Oh, yuck.
Yeah.
I won in all 3 of my leagues
Nice.
this week. One of them I still have Devonta Smith playing right now for the Eagles, but I've already won that one because I had fucking Mostert. Every league I had Mostert in, and Tua. It was just kind of a blowout.
So listen to this. This dude that I work with, he's in a couple of different fantasy leagues, and he's every year that I've known him for a few years now. He does fantasy every year. He sends me a jabber, like a email, whatever, saying like he's like, hey, the best thing I did this week was pick up Mostert. Is it Mostert or Mostert?
I say Mostert.
It's
Mostert.
Mostert. It's
Yeah.
Mostert.
And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, who the fuck gave him up? And he's like, no, he went undrafted and he was still available in week 3.
People,
I'm like,
people,
what the fuck?
people sleep on Mostert. I don't understand this. As a
But
matter of
that-
fact,
week 1, he got.
I was listening to on the way into work this morning. The guy I was riding with had the junkies on. Now, Travis doesn't know who the junkies are. Ron and I both know who they are and how bad they suck. One of the junkies was talking about that Dolphins game, and like one of the dudes was talking about, you know, Mostert having a good game, and he was like just like writing him off. He was like, "Oh no, it's just Raheem Mostert. Like, who gives a fuck about him?" And I'm like,
the fucking
he's acting
beast.
like the dude is some scrub. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? He was amazing for San Francisco, and he's amazing for the Dolphins. Like,
Yeah.
his only
He's
issue
good.
has been staying on the field.
Yeah.
When he's on the field, he's great.
He fucking runs mad. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you just can't tackle him, dude. Like, it was unbelievable.
I was like,
Unbelievable. And I know people were giggling in our league too, because I drafted him especially for a running back. I drafted him high, but if he's on the field, dude, he puts up points.
Yeah.
I doubt people were super giggling in our league.
Oh, they were giggling. I felt it.
you felt it.
Listen, I've been giggled at before, and I know a motherfucking giggle.
I told my friend, I was like, what are there only 2 people in your league? How the fuck did that dude go undrafted?
Yeah, right.
Especially after the week 1 performance too, man. Like, can these motherfuckers Goddard actually caught a pass. Nice. Or Goddard, whatever the fuck.
I think
Yeah.
I'm behind here because I paused.
Yeah, it's definitely got it.
That one, I think it's Goddard. It's
I was
Goddard.
behind that.
Because
Or is it Godere? Is it
Go
French?
there, yeah. Achani. I want to know how to pronounce his name because I feel bad for just repeating what everybody else has been saying.
Ronnie just wants to get all Italian with it. Goddard.
Godard.
Ron, you're digging that UFO pumpkin beer, huh?
Oh man, yeah.
That shit's fucking super good.
Yeah.
That's the best. That's the best pumpkin beer in my
It's
humble opinion.
it's really good. Pumpkin is always going to be my favorite.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
The Warlock, man. Warlock is
Mhm.
also fucking amazing. Oh, the Dolphins. I
So
still
good.
can't believe they put up 70 points.
As an AFC East fan, I never hated the Dolphins. I hate the Patriots. But I used to love Dan Marino when I was a kid. So I think that's why I can never hate the Dolphins. So I like when they're doing well. I would like the Jets to win
Me
at least
too.
3 games. That would be nice, but
I didn't mind beating the Dolphins in the Super Bowl in '82.
I wasn't born.
yeah.
That's my first football memory.
I've never seen a Jets Super Bowl, and I probably never will.
I mean, the only time there's ever been one is Namath, right?
69, baby.
Yeah.
When I was -8 years old.
The Mets and the
That's right. That was the year. That was my year, and I was fucking still 8 years. I'm telling you, I should have been born in the 20s. I say it all the time.
Okay, here's
Disgusting.
here's something from our NFL. I found this on Reddit. This is why I love Reddit. From Adam Schefter. After his 4-touchdown performance Sunday, Dolphins rookie running back Devon Achane informed the team that moving forward, he would like his name to be pronounced Devon Achane, not Achane, as it currently is listed in the team's media guide. Achane.
Achan. Okay.
Yeah.
Like a Chinaman.
Chinaman is not the proper nomenclature.
Dude, Chinaman is not.
It's Asian. It's Asian American.
I don't think you could say that anymore, Ron.
Chinaman?
Yeah.
God damn it. I know. I'm just messing with you, Chinaman out there listening.
Now, no Chinaman.
I'm just messing with you, Orientals. You know what? The dumbest shit I ever heard. Listen to this shit. I was at one of my daughter's field hockey games, and this woman had these Chinese characters. It's just some random mom of one of the girls had these Chinese characters tattooed on her shoulder. And this woman came up. This other mother came up to her and was like, "Hey, what is your what is that? What's that a tattoo of?" She's like, "Oh, it's Oriental for." And then she said what it was. I was like, first of all, Oriental is not a fucking
anything,
and it's definitely not a language. Like, yeah, anybody go to college to study Oriental? Is there an Oriental linguist? Like, what the? That's the dumbest shit I ever heard.
Yeah, it's like it's a term based off of a region.
Yeah,
the Orient.
It's kind of like what accent is that? Oh, New England.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a region.
Oriental.
It's a region filled with assholes.
Yeah, wasn't Oriental a term that used by like basically dumb Americans because all Asians are the same?
Yeah.
They're like, well, you know, they're from the Orient somewhere.
The Orient.
That's all that matters. Yeah. You know, that's why ramen turned Oriental flavor into now it's soy sauce.
Oh, is that what it is? Is that what that is now? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I've been seeing it. How do you make your ramen?
I boil the noodles and then basically get the level of water right that I want in there.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I want it more soupy and sometimes I don't want it that soupy. And then I put the little packet in.
Do you eat the broth?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. A lot of people don't.
I know that's weird.
A lot of people will make the soup and then just drain it and just eat the noodles.
I know.
It's really popular. And
I find that weird.
Yeah. Travis, what is your ramen? I put a scrambled egg in it too. I scramble an egg and dump it in there.
Not a big ramen eater for
Jesus
no reason.
Fucking Christ.
Not for any reason at all. But I like it. I'm just not well versed in it, so
yeah,
I'm just gonna stay out of this one.
Well, Ron, my favorite way to eat it, just from like the ramen noodles, would be to leave a solid amount of broth in there and put like a hard-boiled egg, green onion, some sriracha, a little plum sauce, some bamboo shoots, some water chestnuts.
That's why we work well together.
Yeah, and then like some sort of protein, like either like some chicken or that would be my preference.
I always scramble 2 eggs and just dump it in and let it cook in the.
Yeah, that's good too.
Yeah,
I've done that.
Like some egg drop type shit.
Yeah, we go like Red and I'll go all out when we make ramen. Sometimes we'll make.
You could turn like a 99-cent meal into something kind of nice.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
and we found there's this Asian mart that's a few miles from here.
Love this.
It's really, really cool, like private Asian grocery store. And we found these like big jars of spicy sesame seed oil bamboo shoots.
Fuck yeah.
And dude, they're so fucking good.
Is it H Mart? Is the name of it H Mart?
No, it's legitimately a private Asian grocery store. They even have like fresh produce and shit there.
Damn.
You can buy all
the choy.
Yeah. Oh, totally. You can buy all the stuff to make like fresh pho too.
Nice.
And they have
I know it's pronounced pho, but I say pho because this is America, motherfucker. This isn't the Orient.
If I say pho, I have to finish it off with fuck.
I can't bring myself to say it. I can't.
They've got a whole aisle of ramen there. It's like one aisle in the grocery store is just nothing but fucking ramen.
And it's the good shit too, not just the fucking
Yes. They don't I don't even think they have the regular like ramen that you buy here in America.
Then we're on to something. We're gonna start a ramen company. It's gonna be called Pho King Ramen.
Yeah, fucking Pho King Ramen.
We're gonna make our fortune, boys.
There's a noodle house downtown here that does. That's like do it your own way pho and
Yeah.
ramen. So you go in there and like it's basically like Subway, but you make ramen.
Oh my god, I'm
I
10
want
years
that broth, those kind of noodles, this protein, this and this and this. Yeah, that place fucking rules.
Hope you're enjoying the OBH Ramen podcast.
Yeah. We are ramen lovers in this house.
Oh, it's the best. Noodles
Yeah.
are the best.
But like actual ramen, not
Yeah.
we don't just make cheap ass American ramen, just eat the noodles and that's that.
Yeah.
I had a reaction when you're talking about pulling the noodles out of the broth and just eating the noodles as an Italian, because you don't put it with the olive vodka or whatever you're doing and pull it out of that
Yeah.
Right.
and just eat the noodles. Like,
Right.
doesn't make any sense.
The first time I saw somebody do that, I was like, what are you doing? And they're like, I'm eating ramen. I was like, why are you getting rid of the broth?
That's
And
like
they're
a whole other meal that
You're
they're
not
just getting
supposed
rid
to
of.
eat. Yeah, they're like, you're not supposed to eat that. And I was like, what the who what?
Doesn't make any
I don't know who
sense.
taught you how to do
So
this,
good.
but they were dead wrong.
Yeah.
The Dolphins, 70 points.
God
Do
damn
it. Yeah.
They
Yeah,
did 10 touchdowns. They didn't punt until the fourth quarter.
How about those? How about those 2 no-look touchdown passes from Tua?
To how did he want it to be pronounced?
Achan.
Achan. Like 4chan, but Achan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Devon Achan.
So I took my wife and my daughter to this thing in Universal Studios in Orlando last night called Halloween Horror Nights. And it's basically Universal Studios closed down at night and they have a bunch of like themed, really high scale, like really well done haunted houses. And then as you're walking around the place, there's like people jumping at you and shit. And, it's a great time, dude. And they had a Last of Us theme haunted house and a Stranger Things haunted house. And my daughter and I are really into Last of Us and Stranger Things or whatever. So I watched the game. We went up there. It's only an hour and a half. So we watched the game, then we went up there afterwards. And by the end of it, there's beer everywhere. Like there's booze everywhere. There were so many Dolphins fans there. I thought there were just going to be like horror nerds everywhere. No offense. Like I get it. Like I thought there was going to be like horror nerds everywhere, but there were so many fucking sports people out. And by the end, they were like, oh, 70 points in the beginning, like 70 points. By the end of the night, everyone was so fucking drunk. They're like, 70! 70! I was like, you never fucking take it easy. I know, man. I saw it. I was there. So I kept seeing this one. Granted, like people are jumping at you when you're just walking around, like there's just shit coming out of the woodwork, right? And so there was this one middle-aged couple, they were wearing Bills jerseys, and I just couldn't let that happen. And so I walked past them like 3-4 times. I saw them, and then I was leaving. Me and my daughter were leaving a haunted house, and they were coming in. And as they were walking by me, I was like, ah! And they like looked at me, and like everyone turned around. I was like, oh, never mind, it's just a Bills fan. And then they like, the whole crowd applauded. They all applauded.
That's awesome. Thank you for your service.
That was a fuck of a game, man.
What's better than football, booze, and horror? I mean, that's a great day right there.
Dude, it was cool. It's cool as fuck. If you guys ever get a chance to go. It runs from like mid to late September all the way through Halloween. And it's a lot of fun.
Do you guys know off the top of your head when the last time an NFL team put up 70 points was?
In the 60s, I think.
66 or something like that.
Was it the Skins against the... Didn't the Skins put up like an amount of points against the Bears?
It was like 63. I think we beat them like 63-0.
You sure it was only 63?
Pretty sure, but I could be wrong.
I thought you guys had like 90 or something. Hang on a second.
It wasn't that much. The most points ever.
73-0. You guys beat the Bears.
73-0.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't.
No, the Bears beat you 73-0 in 1940.
Yeah, so not in an NFL game.
The only other team to score 70 points in an NFL game was the LA Rams in 50 against the Colts, Baltimore.
This right here says what's the record for most points in an NFL game? Oh, most points in a game. It says Washington set the record in a 72-41 win over the New York Giants, November 27th, 1966.
Yeah.
I think
the
that
Skins.
was the one because people at Hard Rock Stadium yesterday were screaming when they didn't kick the field goal to break the record. Like they were all like, break the record. And McDaniel was like, 10 out of 10 times you're just going to take a knee here. We're just going to take a knee. So,
yeah. He's not going to.
I'm cool with that.
Daniel's the kind of guy. He's not going to break the record on some bullshit like that. Yeah. Although not
many lifetimes can you watch your favorite NFL team put up 70 points.
No, it doesn't.
I'll never see that.
But apparently, Mike McDaniel used to be a ball boy for the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Tell me you saw that meme today, Travis.
He did. And then absolutely. And when he apparently was starting to get into the head coach job, et cetera, they passed him up. And so it kind of seemed personal, didn't it?
Yeah.
I have this fantastic image because last night that whole thing runs really late, so we didn't get back to the hotel till like 2 or whatever. We slept in. And I got a Red Bull. I've been really tired all day, but I have this image in my head replaying. I'm a psychopath of just like Russell Wilson and Sean Payton, just like in a room, just like consoling each other, trying to figure out how they're going to go back to their significant others and look them in the eye. Like,
hey, Wilson still got me 21 points, so I'll take it.
Man,
he completed a couple passes.
That dude,
I had Keenan Allen, and he was a monster this weekend.
And he's going to continue to be a monster because Mike Williams tore his ACL and is done for the season.
Yeah.
Shit. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, Russell Wilson getting that like life coach of his dying really screwed him up.
Yeah.
He has not been the same.
I think he's better this year, though, right? Than he was last year.
I don't care for that.
That he has a life coach here?
Life coach?
No, you can't. No, that his life coach died and then he's like bad at his job. Like you can't show up to your job and be like, my manager died. This is going to go very well.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the excuse he's using. It's just what happened. This dude who was not just like a life coach. He's like he was a very specific sports. Like apparently he did this for a bunch of quarterbacks, but Russell Wilson more so than like almost anybody really, really loved this dude and had become like best friends with him.
Like
and the
really,
dude,
really, really loved this.
Yeah. And the dude, he
was his blowjob.
Russell Wilson has not been the same person since. I can't remember where I saw that. It was on YouTube somewhere. I want to say it was on what's the podcast with Taylor Lewin and it's like Bussing with the Boys or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was somebody that was on that podcast who was talking about that. And they were like, yo, this is because they were talking about Russell Wilson and his downfall. The dude was like, yo, this is like a real thing that a lot of people don't know. Like Russell Wilson's like messed up in the head because of it. And like told that whole story. And even they were like, oh no shit, we didn't know that. And the dude was like, yeah. Like it. I wish I could remember what episode that was, or who their guest was.
I heard that before though. That's not my first time hearing that.
I think I might have told you.
You told us last time.
Maybe you did.
Yeah.
Who's your guys' second team? Like, who do you like? If you had to pick a second team, I can't do that for baseball.
I have a second
I'm
team.
married to the Mets and I hate everybody else. Well,
I don't know if I can do it in football.
I think you guys are bigger football fans. You're definitely bigger football fans than I am.
Well,
my favorite football team every year is my fantasy team.
Yeah, it's because you're a Jets fan.
That exactly.
Makes sense.
So, yeah.
It makes sense.
I have no glory in my lifetime this show.
Travis, if I had to pick a second team, Travis probably wouldn't like my answer.
Buffalo? Patriots?
It might be Buffalo, but
really?
But really though, like I don't
you think you know somebody.
I don't know. I don't think I can have a second team in football.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel the same watching other teams.
I got a second team in football and baseball, and it doesn't feel the same. And it's okay because they're not my first team.
I know who your second team is in baseball, but who is it in football?
I think we had the same
Eagles.
football second team. Yeah.
Oh God, the Eagles.
That's my married into second team.
Okay,
so.
my second team in football definitely is the Bills now.
You're just hate picking your second team. That's not fair.
That's not true. I said it the first time. I like the Bills. I was always a Jim Kelly fan and a Thurman Thomas fan and a Bruce Smith.
How? I can't even say their name. I just call them the red and blue team.
How do you like the
How
Eagles?
do you like that?
The worst organization and city of all time.
Because that's where my family's from.
I don't know. Baltimore exists, so
no, Philly's worse. Baltimore.
No, I'm going to disagree with you on that one.
Baltimore's bad.
Baltimore's the taint of the United States.
Yeah, it's true. But
Philly's the armpit. I'd rather be armpit than taint.
The people in Baltimore.
Baltimore's the taint
heroin
after
to
a 5
cheesesteak
pit
ratio.
Baltimore's the taint of a 400-pound man after he tried to run a mile.
Well, see, like Baltimore's a bad city because it's gross and like filled with like crackheads and weird crime. Philly's a shitty city because the people there are just like the worst.
It's brotherly love, man.
That's
fumble. Philly got it.
How did Philadelphia end up with that?
I think it's ironic.
Motto? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, who's their baseball second team?
Me?
Yeah.
The Orioles. I grew up an O's fan because DC didn't have a team.
That's convenient.
They were the closest thing to home. And Cal Ripken was like everybody's hero around here.
Cubs.
It's true.
I still can't believe that one fucking writer from New York City didn't vote for Cal Ripken to be first ballot Hall of Famer.
Sports writers.
One guy. Cal Ripken should have been like the most unanimous.
He did it so that people on shitty podcasts 20 years later us will say, I can't believe that one right. That's what they do. They think about themselves. They don't give a fuck about who they're voting for.
He should have been the most unanimous Hall of Famer of all time.
Yeah, that's absolutely maddening.
But a New York Yankees fucking beat writer didn't vote Cal Ripken into the Hall of Fame. How do you not think Cal Ripken's a fucking first ballot Hall of Famer? How
it's bullshit. It's such bullshit.
Yeah, like he was one of the best defensive shortstops of all time, and then third baseman. He'd like lifetime batting average of 270 something, 422 home runs, like a ton of RBIs, and then the fucking the one record, that little thing that he did where he played so many consecutive games, more so than anybody other in the history of the league, never getting injured in his entire career. Like, what the fuck? Two-time AL MVP, won the World Series. Yeah, it's fucking insane. 19-time All-Star. Can we all agree that the Yankees are trash? Yeah.
Had a good time at their stadium, but who cares?
Yeah, I mean, the history, you have to, appreciate the history, but
the Yankees tearing down Yankee Stadium and building another stadium that looks exactly the same was the most Yankees thing
right across the street. Yeah.
Why didn't you just keep the old stadium? Nobody wanted you to get rid of it.
I'm kind of a little bit of a Giants fan too, like
Rats.
just because. Rats, exactly.
And then they said they were going to keep the old stadium and use it as a museum, and like 2 years later they fucking tore it down anyways. Like, could you ever see Boston tearing down Fenway Park?
No.
Not a million years. Did you ever see Chicago tearing down Wrigley? No.
I want to go there. I've been outside of Fenway. I've walked by Fenway Park, but I've never been to the game.
It's awesome. Fenway Park is it's a surreal experience. And I'm not anything of a Red Sox fan, but that stadium is just like it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. It's worth a trip to Boston to go to a Red Sox game at Fenway once in your life.
It's funny. There's no like
One day.
football stadium. I guess Lambeau Field maybe, but there's no really like football stadiums don't have that mystique that some of the ballparks have. Like
Lambeau's probably the closest one.
Yeah.
Some of these new ones seem like they could be a lot of fun to go to, like the LA Rams and Charger Stadium. And
yeah, that looks
Vegas's
cool.
new stadium. Those stadiums look amazing. But yeah, I know I can't think
what is it like called? It's SoFi Stadium or something,
SoFi,
right?
yeah.
SoFi?
Mm-hmm.
That's
LA.
one of them.
Yeah, I think Lambeau is probably like definitely or unless maybe Arrowhead, but probably Lambeau on top of over Arrowhead.
Yeah, Arrowhead's an iconic one. I would love to go to a game at Arrowhead.
Yeah.
We used
what
to
else
have
is there?
I mean, RFK was one of those.
Yeah.
RFK was just got so fucking like, oh man. That stadium is unsafe as a motherfucker. Like I remember even going to a Nats game there when the Nats played there for like the first like few years of their existence. Dude, I was in like one of the upper decks, and like every step you took, every single person, every step you took going up and down the stairs or anywhere on that, the whole entire concrete structure of where the seats were like shook.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I mean, but that's what it always did, you know, when the Skins used to play there, people would like,
oh, the whole place would shake. Yeah.
The whole entire stadium would just shake. Every opposing team in the NFL. That was in the 80s, you know, everyone would say, you know, they'd ask people where's the place you hate playing the most, and they would all say RFK.
Yeah.
They were like, that place is fucking impossible to go into and win games.
What you said Chris Eller's going to join us?
Yeah.
When? The next one?
October, was it 2nd or 3rd?
Cool.
Yeah, so the 9th. The
9th. Right, okay.
Yeah, so our next episode of OBH Sports, we will be having our first guest. And it'll be right after the O's either win or lose their first series in the playoffs.
I haven't even looked at baseball since July.
He's a giant O's fan.
That's right. Yeah.
Playoffs start next week. Playoffs start on the 6th, I believe.
6th.
Yep. 6th, yeah. So it's baseball playoff time. Neither our teams are not in there. I mean, Travis's second team and my second team are going to be in it, and they may actually play against each other in the World Series.
That'd be cool.
Cubs get hot, man. Sometimes the Cubs get hot.
Yeah. The Cubs are holding a wild card spot down right now, right?
Yeah.
A large part of that is the dude we gave them. They got Jamer Candelaria from us.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they were like, I want to say they were 5 games out of the wild card when they made that trade, and when he got there, they hit the ground running. That was the piece they needed to add to their lineup because he's killed it since he's been over there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Talk about an insane signing on a team that was supposed to be complete garbage. That then gained us 2 prospects that we might see both of next year on our team. 2 prospects that weren't supposed to be like super crazy prospects or something, but since they've been in our minor league system, they've both been killing it. But yeah, we signed a washed up third baseman to a team that was supposed to be the worst team in the majors, and he has his best season of his career. and we trade him at the trade deadline for a relief pitcher and I think an outfielder, and the relief pitcher almost definitely is going to be on our roster next year. I think his last name's like Sequoia, I think.
Moneyball.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. And we re-signed our coach for another, I think 3 years, 5 years maybe. And then we just re-signed our GM too. So both our coach and or I should say our manager, both our manager and our GM are going to get to see this rebuild through.
Nice.
After your coach printed out the thing and took it to the press conference, I was like, dude, I would sign him for the rest of my life.
Yeah, dude. Davey Martinez this year, man, he made this team look good, and we should not have been anywhere near 500 this year, and we almost got there.
You had a streak at the end, man, for sure.
Yeah, well, like after the All-Star break.
Yeah, that's where my season kind of ended there.
But then that last we've been terrible ever since that last series against you guys.
They gave a push towards the end, but it's not looking so good.
Yeah, you swept us in a 4-game series, and then that was the beginning of us losing, I think, 9 in a row. We had some playoff aspirations right before that happened. A potential wild card, but nope. We were only 6 games under 500 at that point. That's okay. We're going to have 2 guys with 90 RBIs on that team that most people couldn't even probably name you a single starter on our.
That's wild.
Yeah. One guy, 90 RBIs. One of the guys that's going to have 90 RBIs was a guy who once was a high prospect but never could quite cut it. And we traded a washed up John Lester for him at the trade deadline. Yeah. Lane Thomas.
Fucking Lester.
Yeah. And Lane Thomas, I think he's like 27 or 28 this year. Dude's going to hit 270 with like almost 30 home runs and 90 ribbies. I think he's got like 26 or 27 dingers.
Wow.
And then Joey Meneses, who was a call up. He was a career minor leaguer, never played a game in the majors, 30 years old last year. We called him up. It wasn't a September call up, but we called him up like I think after the All-Star break, and he played the second half of the season only to hit like I don't know, it was like 329 with 12 home runs and 40 some RBIs in half a season. Actually, it might have been 50 some RBIs. Yeah. Career minor leaguer, just out of nowhere, 30-year-old rookie. And then this year he's played the whole season. He's like hitting like 275. He's only got like 13 home runs, but he's got I think 87 ribbies.
Wow.
That makes me think I can still get in there.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Put me in, coach. I can play.
Yeah, too. We're talking. Yeah, like think about that. When was the last time you heard of a Major League Baseball player who's gonna have 90 ribbies that doesn't have even 15 home runs? Like, dude is just an RBI machine without hitting home runs.
Let me just look up Ariza's stats real quick.
Yeah, how many? What's he hitting now?
353.
God damn.
69 ribbies, 10 home runs.
Yeah. Yeah, Meneses is an RBI machine. Dude's got 13 dingers and he's hitting 270 something, and he's gonna end up with 90 ribbies. I think he's a free agent too. I don't know if we're re-signing him. I don't know what the deal is there. I would hope we would bring him back. Could you imagine putting that dude on a team with a lineup? Like a stacked lineup? That dude would be, yeah.
If you were able to pick one of your teams to win a championship in 1 year, which team would you pick?
One of my teams to win a championship?
Mm-hmm. If somebody came up to you and was like, I will allow one of your favorite teams to win a championship this year, but only one.
It can't be that hard. The Nats have won one in your lifetime.
Yeah, the Nats and the Caps have, I mean, all my teams have won except for the Wizards in my lifetime. But I don't really care enough to pick the Wizards to win the championship. I love the Wizards, but I mean, it's been a minute since the old commies have won one.
But it happened in your lifetime though, right?
3 times.
Yeah.
82, 87, and 91. It should have happened 4 times. We should have won in 83 too. But the infamous partying game. Still to this day, that team was the most heavily favored Super Bowl team of all time. and we just got our asses handed to us by the Raiders because our entire team stayed up till 5 a.m. just partying and getting thrashed. And the whole entire team was hungover. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure they have some stories though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You can get some of them to tell it too, especially John Riggins.
John Riggins. I love John Riggins.
Riggins was an infamous party.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, there was this place in Vienna called Mark Mosley's, which is, was our kicker from that era. Only kicker in NFL history to win MVP. He won MVP in 82 in the Super Bowl season. Which that year he also set the record for most field goals made in a row without a miss. That record was broken by somebody else, but that year of football was so underwhelming statistically across the league that the NFL actually chose to make a kicker the MVP. Mind you, think about this: a wide receiver has still never won MVP.
Wow.
But a kicker has. and Mark Mosley was old school toast style.
Awesome.
But yeah, he had his own restaurant in Vienna called Mark Mosley's, and infamously, a lot of the team would go there and party like hard, like a lot. Like on any given night, you could go in there and see Riggo just like thrashed drunk at the bar.
He was a Jet too, man.
Yeah, he was.
So who would you pick?
Probably the Caps.
The Caps. Okay.
I mean, that's hockey's my favorite sport. I held season tickets for 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, I know they just won one in 2018, but like, I need OV to catch up to Sidney Crosby here.
Travis, who you going with?
It's the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen 2 Marlins World Series. We're good.
Was the Dolphins last Super Bowl was the 72 undefeated season
That they won.
Yeah, the last one they won, right? Yeah, because they lost against us in 82. Yeah, because because you guys beat us in that your undefeated season. But we weren't supposed to go to the Super Bowl that year. We were kind of an underdog team that somehow limped their way into the Super Bowl, and nobody expected us to beat you guys, and they were all right. I can't remember who our
There's some amazing things that he
I think Sonny Jurgensen was our quarterback in that Super Bowl. No, I'm wrong. Who the fuck was our quarterback in that Super Bowl?
What year?
Billy Kilmer, maybe? 1972. Now I gotta look it up. Oh shit, no. Fuck. Sonny Jurgensen, Billy Kilmer, and Sam Weish were all 3 quarterbacks on that team.
Quarterback by committee.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they did quarterback. Jurgensen probably was the starter. Yeah.
I'd probably pick the Mets for me. I've seen a Maryland basketball championship.
Yeah, I remember that.
Maybe for my daughter's sake, Kentucky basketball, but they don't need my help. They'll get one soon.
Speaking of that Maryland national championship, the basketball one, I hung out with somebody. Yeah. Travis disappeared. I hung out with somebody recently who I was talking to about that. Because I was at the auto bar that night seeing, this was before Rise Against was famous.
Mm-hmm.
It was Rise Against and somebody else. And I was talking to somebody and they were at that show too. It might have been Chris Eller, actually.
That's funny because you said the auto bar?
Yeah.
Okay, because when that same year when Maryland was playing Kansas, I think it was in the Final Four. It was either the Final Four or I don't remember who they beat in the Final Four. It might have been, I don't know if Kansas was the game. Kansas might have been in the Elite Eight, but whatever when Maryland played Kansas to get into the Final Four or to get into the championship game, we were playing a show at the Sidebar, which at the time was right around the corner from the old Auto Bar. And I remember being on my cell phone and talking to my friend Brian. He was watching the game at his house, and the whole 2 hours I stayed outside, and he just talked about. He told me exactly what was going on, and I was basically watching the game through him on my cell phone.
I told you, me and my buddy. Actually, he's in the OBH Fantasy League. Chris Cassie.
Mm-hmm.
It was him and I were at that show, and during Rise Against was like one of the openers, because they weren't the opener because they were on tour. But for whatever reason, I cannot remember who the headliner was that night. But we had no interest in watching anybody Rise Against because that first Rise Against, because this was before their second album came out. That first Rise Against album is just so good. They never were able to touch anything close to that album. That's because Dan from 88 Fingers Louie wasn't in the band anymore after that. But we just had we were the only people at the bar watching the game while the headliner was playing. And like, it was funny because I remember like when they won, like me and him stood and the bartender all stood up and we're like, ah, and like everybody, it was like in between songs, and like everybody that was in the crowd like turned around and like looking back there, and we're like, sorry. Yeah, so Travis's power went out.
I just saw that.
There's a storm. So I suppose this is a fitting place to end the episode.
Yeah, it is. So we'll be back in 2 weeks with a guest, Chris Eller. Yeah,
Chris Eller of the Huntingtons, and ex CJ Ramon drummer.
CJ Ramon, yeah.
Big sports fan, big Ravens, Baltimore Orioles fan.
I'm still so pissed that CJ Ramon played at a club right near my house and I didn't know about
it. Yeah, dude, that's brutal.
That was the most pissed off I've ever been at during one of our episodes. Like, wait a second, what?
How does this happen?
Yeah. Cool, man. We got the Jasons on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. But
heaven help us.
Maybe people will hear that before they're on. Oh, yeah, because that'll be out next Sunday. Yeah. But yeah, if you are a fan of this podcast and you listen to our other podcast, probably you listen to this one because of that one. The Jasons are returning on next Sunday, so you definitely don't want to miss that one.
No, definitely.